ระดับสูงของรัฐบาลสหรัฐเดินทางมาเยือนไทยในวันนี้นะคะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของการมาเยือนระดับอาเซียนสำหรับผู้ช่วยรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงการต่างประเทศของสหรัฐที่ดูแลกิจการด้านเอเชียตะวันออกและแปซิฟิกคุณแดเนียล คริตเทนบิงระบุว่าต้องการที่จะมากระชับพันธมิตรในระดับภูมิภาคท่ามกลางความท้าทายที่เกิดขึ้นในศตวรรษที่ 21 ถึงแม้จะไม่บอกตรงๆไม่ได้เอ่ยชื่อประเทศจีนแต่ก็พอจะตีความได้นะคะว่าสหรัฐต้องการที่จะกระชับพันธมิตรให้เหนียวแน่นมากขึ้นกับกลุ่มประเทศในอาเซียนท่ามกลางการแข่งขันในเชิงภูมิรัฐศาสตร์กับประเทศจีนค่ะในการให้สัมภาษณ์กับผู้สื่อข่าวหลายสำนักในไทยดิฉันถามผู้ช่วยรัฐมนตรีต่างประเทศสหรัฐเรื่องที่ไทยไม่ได้รับเชิญร่วมประชุมสุดยอดผู้นำด้านประชาธิปไตยที่สหรัฐเป็นเจ้าภาพ Thailand is not included in 111 countries the US invited to join Democracy Summit. Why is that? And what's the relations that the US take on Thailand at this very juncture?
President Biden has decided to host this summit on democracy, not as an opportunity to sit in judgment of others, but as an opportunity for the world's democracies and partners, democratic partners, to come together to share ideas, exchange views, discuss best practices about how our democracies can better deliver for our peoples. And when you see some of the concerns internationally in which there's been, I think, a rise in certain areas of authoritarianism, of corruption, and the like, this is an opportunity for us to refocus on some of our core values of democracy and human rights and to talk with some of our partners, again, about best practices and ways that we can demonstrate that our democracies still deliver and deliver for our peoples effectively. We haven't invited every country in the world, and what I would say is this is an opportunity to discuss with some of our partners, but not all of our partners, these issues. I would say that while I was here in Bangkok, just as I did in other capitals that I've visited on this trip, not all of whom were invited to the summit, I stress the importance of democratic values and human rights to the United States, and I raised certain concerns regarding those issues, including while I was here in Bangkok. When I did so, I think we as Americans do so from a position of humility. No democracy is perfect. You have seen clearly the many challenges present in the United States as well. I think that's yet another reason why it's important for us to hold such a summit and to exchange views with partners. But that does not take away from how vitally important our alliance is with Thailand, does not take away the strength of our bonds with this great country and the Thai people. And I don't believe in any way it undermines the close cooperation that we will continue to have with our Thai allies on a whole range of issues. It also, in my mind, does not in any way undermine our ability and really our obligation to discuss many of these same issues. And as I always do with our Thai friends, I had a candid and robust conversation on these very issues during this trip.
คริสเทนบลิงก์ย้ำว่าสหรัฐเห็นความสำคัญของบทบาทอาเซียนที่เป็นแกนกลางในระดับภูมิภาคและต้องอาศัยอาเซียนและไทยเพื่อแก้ปัญหาวิกฤตเมียนมา
The United States and Thailand share many interests vis-a-vis Myanmar, and we have discussed extensively over the last weeks and months our shared interest in seeing an end to the violence in Burma. I know that we have continued to express publicly and in private to our Thai allies and many friends around the region that we want to work together to increase pressure on the junta to change course, to not only cease violence but to release those unjustly detained. And our goal is to restore Burma back to a path of democracy. Thailand is an important leader in ASEAN. We're grateful for the leadership that Thailand and the rest of ASEAN has shown on the issue of Myanmar representation that we discussed earlier. And again, as I've noted here, we're very grateful for the leadership that Thailand has shown in these other areas.
การแข่งกันในเชิงภูมิรัฐศาสตร์ระหว่างสหรัฐและจีนในแทบจะทุกมิติเป็นเรื่องที่ปรากฏอย่างชัดเจนในอินโดแปซิฟิกแต่ผู้ช่วยรัฐมนตรีต่างประเทศสหรัฐยืนยันว่าไม่ต้องการให้ประเทศในภูมิภาคเลือกข้าง
You know, everywhere I go, I do get the question about China and what U.S. views are and the like. And maybe I would just say my main focus as Assistant Secretary and America's primary focus is what is our affirmative agenda for the Indo-Pacific region? What do we offer as a partner to our friends across this region, and what can we do together in a concrete way with our allies, partners, and friends across the region? That's our primary focus, and if we do that, then I think we're well positioned to deal with any other challenges. I think your question implies the question I get in every capital, so I'll just answer it as to whether the United States is somehow asking countries to choose. And the answer is absolutely not. We do want partners in the region to have choices, however, and specifically to have the sovereign say over all of their own decisions. So that's why we focus on what we can do together with our partners. That's why we focus on a free and open Indo-Pacific and all that means, and that's why we focus on what we call the rules-based order in the region.